Good morning, everyone. It's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for all of the love and support, and so happy you're joining me for my Sunday morning series. This is the Ascended Masters and Archangels series that I do, in which I use automatic writing, channeled messages, and a card pull. We call forth the angels and the masters. I've spent a bit of time channeling already, and it just kind of started happening this morning, and it's been happening, and the mighty oak was coming up as a huge symbol. So obviously you can tell by the name of this video that that's going to be where we start from in terms of the symbolism and writing. And then we'll see what they give to us, and we'll see where that leads us in terms of messages for the collective. And these videos are for collective twin flames, anyone along the ascension journey, really anyone that's drawn to this in the collective. Sometimes there's specific messages for twin flames. Sometimes it's just like blanket messages for everyone, or divine feminine, divine masculine. Sometimes I get specific hits on those of you watching. We just kind of have to see what comes, okay? So if you guys want to work in one-on-one session with me in readings and in like journeying sessions, I have group soul coaching starting this week. You can sign up for all of that on my website, spiritualmaterialgirl.com. Just click on sessions and workshops. And don't forget, I have an October 26th workshop honoring the divine feminine. It's called The Goddess in All Her Glory. My workshops tend to fill up. This is like a teleconference webinar. I think you guys are going to love it. You're going to get a lot of benefit from it. So please join us. You can sign up for that now. Registration's open. And those of you who have donated to my cancer cause or however you view it, donating to the channel, I so appreciate it. I'm still accepting donations. The donate button's up on my website. And again, you guys, I'm very, very appreciative and thankful for all of that assistance that you've given me. All right, so let's get into these messages. Wow, so the mighty oak. So let's talk about what the oak symbolizes. This mighty oak, as we know the oak tree, is a symbol of stability, strength, nobility, knowledge, unwavering faith. The oak is strong. The oak takes time to grow, right? It takes, a full-grown oak is going to be 200-300 years old. They live to be 200 or 300 years old. So there's a lot of wisdom there. The oak carries the wisdom of the earth and its evolution in its intricate system of roots, and its roots are far reaching. Its roots are intricate. Its roots hold a lot of knowledge. And we don't see this knowledge and wisdom on the surface, right? It's all under the surface. So like this is the ground. We don't see all of this per se, right? So a lot of this is symbolizing sort of, the aspects of our own spirituality in which, are not seen or not tangible in the 3D. But yet there is a wisdom, there is a knowledge, there's a communication system too here between this tree, these trees and other trees, between this tree and animals and all life. I feel like this oak at this time is, oh boy, here we go with the goosebumps. My hairs are standing up. The oak at this time is speaking to us. It's speaking to humanity right now. It has a message for us. This is why, I have tears in my eyes right now. It's very powerful. So one of the messages I felt was coming through, and you see this word here, I wrote inflexibility. So just about the only weakness that the oak tree has is that it's really, really strong, but it's very, very inflexible, right? There's no give. There's no, how some trees like really sway, the branches kind of bend, and they're more like, there's just more flexibility, right? They're saying the word limber. An oak does not have that quality. So when a storm passes through, whether it's a lightning storm or any other sort of like harsh weather, winds, high winds, the oak tree's branches are going to break. It's going to break it a bit. It's going to cause some destruction. So I feel like there's a message coming through for us about being a little bit too resistant or maybe a little bit too inflexible in our lives. Remember, when stress comes or when challenging circumstances come, if you're resisting too much, you're too stiff, you're too tight, like you might break. And so it's reminding us to get flexible. And there's a lot of changes obviously going on right now in our lives and in the collective with these shifts. So it's really important to be flexible. It doesn't mean that flexibility, though, can throw you off your balance. That's the thing about it's a positive aspect of the oak that we're being reminded of. It's like it's unwavering strength. So how do you create unwavering strength and stability, but yet still be flexible? And I have to apologize, you guys, because I have kitties running, playing in the background. My little Zoe's in her litter box right now, so if you guys hear anything in the background, I'm like really sorry. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So yeah, the question is, how do we create strength and flexibility? And I feel like this intricate system of the roots is talking, like when I teach root healing in my soul coaching, I always use the analogy of the tree, not necessarily the oak tree, but the tree. And I talk about like our 5 roots of, our core wounds, our 5 core wounds. And I usually branch them off as roots under the surface. That's how I teach it. I actually have like a diagram like this. But these roots are more than just our inner child core wounds. They're also our connection to our lineage, our ancestral imbalances, our ancestral bloodline, as well as our past lives. So I feel like on a metaphoric level, these roots are symbolizing all of that as well. They're saying that your roots hold all the wisdom for you, for your healing, for your ascension. In order for you to become this stable force with branches and beautiful leaves and growth and branches that extend out far and stability and all of this, and I'm sorry, this is a really small board to be trying to draw any sort of iteration of a tree, but all of this beautiful, like, let's say that it's foliage or the leaves and all of that can't happen unless our roots are in our growth, unless our roots are understood. And our roots is where it all stems from. Our roots enable all of this growth. It enables this stability. Okay, and I've drawn this before, kind of like if you look at the tree, not even just an oak tree, but if you look at the human body and the chakra system, or the way our chakra system has been set up. Imagine, we know the root chakra and the sacral chakra, and then we have the solar plexus right here. And imagine like that the arms and the heart and the throat and the crown and the third eye are sort of this aspect of the tree, the leaves, the branches. But in order to get our stability and clear out the traumas, we got to go to the root. And that's going to enable that growth and that ascension, right? So you guys know that. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that's coming up right now is around not just our inner child healing, but you guys have to understand, like, I love Aluna. I was watching Aluna's video recently, the Saturn video, that she just posted. And she's talking about how like ancestral healing is up for the collective. I agree with that completely. And she says that it's more so than past lives, but I have to just chime in and say that like, your past, whatever happens in past life karma, you come in and you choose your ancestral bloodline because of that. Like, I'll give you guys an example. For example, I did a really intense past life regression session recently, and there was one lifetime in which almost everything that I've carried forth in many lifetimes, and especially in this lifetime, was rooted in that lifetime. All of the imbalances. Doesn't mean that I didn't keep repeating them, but like the root of it was in this particular lifetime. In that lifetime, I was actually burned as a virgin. I was burned over a fire alive by man. I was trapped in a lot of the physical. It was a ritual. It was a very patriarchal type ritual. There was a lot of sexual energy related to it. Like the men who were burning me were feeding off of the sexual energy from the burning, from the fact that my screams were not as loud as theirs. Their screams and their woo, 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 and they're like this highly sexual ritual that they were doing. Like it was almost like as I bled, my blood warmed their blood. My bleeding warmed their blood. So it was really, really, really traumatic. So much trauma was uncovered. So much got uncovered about my physical issues in this lifetime. Like I can't even tell you how intense it was. But towards the end of the session, we were asking my subconscious questions. And one of the questions I had before the session was, why did I choose my heritage in this lifetime? In this lifetime here. And my heritage is like Judaic. My parents are of the Jewish faith, and I have felt like zero connection to it for most of my life. And it's not even like that I've been resistant to it. It's just like I just don't connect with it. And I was shown that like I'm here to return back to sort of like who I was originally in that lifetime, many lifetimes ago, like sort of very indigenous, back to my indigenous roots, medicine man, medicine woman, where in the Jewish faith, the flame is really symbolic. At my core roots, the thing that was going to be the return home for me was going to be the fire and the ceremonies around like the fire. So when we asked my subconscious this question, my subconscious said, yeah, duh. It was basically like, yeah, duh. No wonder why you chose this. It's a continuation of that trauma. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And what I said verbatim on the regression was, there was so much sacrifice that lineage in this life, this ancestral lineage, had to go through. You think about people in World War II being burned in concentration camps and this unfair persecution, and it was very much connected to the trauma in that past life. And that's why I chose this. And basically my guides were saying, you can release that connection now because you're healing this wound. You're healing it by accessing the past life. And like that past life influenced what you chose for this life. It was like you chose this to carry on that burden that you felt. You are identifying with these people because it's a burden that you carried for many lifetimes. The sacrificial, being persecuted, being burned, that heaviness. And what my guides were saying was, and what my subconscious was telling me is like, it's okay to let that go now. It's okay, you're healing past that now. So your choice for your ancestral bloodline lineage is all connected to some of the traumas and things that you're bringing in from past lives. It's not unrelated. So I have to clarify that for you guys. And I wanted to share my experience with you because I think it's extremely fascinating. I wish I could go into full detail because I think you'd be extremely fascinated by some more of the things I've uncovered, but I don't want to bore you here and I don't want to take up too much time here, but it's worth the exploration. So if you haven't done past life regression, if you haven't connected those dots, if you don't understand how past lives are connected to this life's traumas, if you don't understand the ancestral karma that you're clearing in this life, this is the root work that's here for you to do. This is what I do, help you do in my online courses. This is what I help you do in soul coaching. This all contributes to the whole of who you are and how you create your stability in this life and how you create enjoyment and flourishment. And for light workers, this is an intricate system. There's usually a lot of trauma, dysfunction, layers and multi-layers, and things that need to be felt, healed, understood, cleared, shifted. And so the other symbolism that the oak brings is around the acorn. So the acorn is the oak nut or the seed. And we know we walk through the forest, we go on a nature walk, and we see many, many, many acorns, right? So many, hundreds of acorns. And only some of those acorns actually become oaks, right? But it's amazing that in one little acorn, it holds the power of actually creating a whole forest, right? That is possible. And when we see the acorns in their dormant state, they're reminding us that there's a time for rest. And then when they're planted and they become seedlings and they become growth, there's a time for growth. We're not always supposed to be becoming the tree. And I think in the rest periods or in the seedling periods, we must honor this need to and this is a lot of what's coming up for the winter months for us and going, coming into the fall equinox. I've been talking about this. What work do we need to do this winter? What are we carrying forth to bring to fruition and bloom in the spring? And so I feel like the acorn's reminding us of your connectedness to all. You can look at acorns and say, sure, they're like a dime a dozen. There's so many of them. They all look the same, or some of them look a little different. Or you might look at it and say, oh, I just found this one magical acorn. But it depends on your perspective. You could walk over a nature trail and step on all the acorns and crunch them and squish them and destroy them. You might be one of those people that walks through the forest and picks up all the acorns. Or you might just see them and feel connected. But there's such an intricate system, even of the acorns, and how they speak and how they rest and how they get planted and rooted, and how some choose to grow and become these mighty oaks. And we're not all, if you consider all of the collective as individual acorns, we're not all supposed to grow into mighty oaks, but I do believe that you all are meant to spread your wings, understand your roots, and become the stable force and create new acorns and create new life and create all of this. You all have an amazing capacity for really, really becoming strong because of these roots. But if there's fear here, if you don't clear out your fear under the surface, you're going to find a very unstable base. And when you do understand the roots, like I said, I keep saying, and you guys know this, it's your wounding, it's programming, it's ancestral, it's childhood, it's past life. So those are your roots. So you create by shifting from fear to love and releasing this karma, healing this karma, healing the wounding. You're making a transition to love, and that love is what spawns this growth, this mightiness, this wisdom, this power, this ability to influence life, this ability to stand strong, to help others, to create new life. So it's very important, okay? So I hope you guys have enjoyed my not so great drawing, but I'm gonna clear this now and see what else they have to say to us around this, or anything else that wants to come through. Okay. So just give me a minute, guys, because I usually just channel what's coming through next. I hear my Zoe sneezing in the background. She's trying to clear her. She has, I think, allergies. I'm sorry if you guys hear her. Zoe, you okay, baby? Okay, so this is really interesting. So this is my rendition of a torch, I guess. So first they showed me 8. And then they put an apostrophe S and they were like the 8s. So they had me draw these dashes, and I saw number patterns. I saw lots of number patterns, like the repeating numbers. Like they were showing me the repeating numbers that you guys see in the collective. And I wasn't sure how to fill it in. But then they showed me 8, 8, 8. And then they showed me 1, 1, 1. And when you look at this, it looks like 8 divided by 1, 8 divided by 1, 8 divided by 1. And any number divided by 1 is always going to be that number, right? So 8 divided by 1 is 8. 8 divided by 1 is 8. 8 divided by 1 is 8. Okay? And they were saying, like, this is the eternal flame. And okay, so when we look at the continuity of, the infinity symbol, right? We look at how there's no start, stop, no ending, no beginning. So that is sort of like the eternal flame. I think it's really interesting to look at this as like 1 into the infinity is still the infinity. 1 into the infinity is still the infinity. 1, the infinity divided by 1 is still infinity. I feel like what it's saying is like our individual strength to carry out like these connections, whether they're twin flame connections, soul family connections, all connectedness of man, of humanity, of all things, all life, all beings. It's like one continuous cycle. And one singular force can't break that cycle. And when you have 2 forces on either end, so let's say this is the connection between 2 people or 2 beings, it's almost like it fortifies this. It doesn't multiply it. It just fortifies it. It doesn't break it down. It doesn't divide it. It just like fortifies it. This is very much about all connection. It's not just, twin flames. Like we look at this infinity symbol as maybe a twin flame symbol. But this is about your symbol with everything and the continuous motion, the continual. It's like what I was just talking about with like the past lives and the ancestral lineage and like where everything is connected. Everything, everybody, every root, every everything is connected to everything else on this planet and in the universe. So I really feel like this is a symbolism of not just connection between two people or the individual, but also how individuals relate to one another, and how all beings are connected. This is like a symbol of wholeness, really, and oneness. And I think we often think of that as 10, like 10 completion, 10 wholeness, 10 is everything, and it's also one. But they're showing me like the 8 is coming in. So you guys at this time might start seeing a lot of 8s, repeating 8s. It's reminding you about the strength of this continuity. It's reminding you of the strength of our connectedness. It's also reminding you of the strength of connection. I said in a past video, like, a lot of twin flames are gonna move away from like the twin flame label. Doesn't mean that twin flames don't exist, but what I was saying is like, it's really just about soul connection now. And we are not just having soul connection with only twin flames. We're having soul connection with all beings, animals. I mean, some of you are connecting with the bugs. You know, I was talking about different ways that the bugs are speaking to us and the insects and everything. And like, you all have been commenting, oh yeah, this bug came right up into my face or on my bed, or, you know, it's like, yeah, because you're connecting with all beings right now, and you're finding the connectedness of life. So this is about an unbreakable bond. This is about no stop. This is about the continuity of everything. And you are part of that. You are part of that. You divide into it. You can't break it. You can't, you know, you're fortifying it by seeing the continuity of all. So what does this mean for like actual connections between two people? I feel like there's a fortifying of these connections right now in the collective, especially as you take they're saying some people are getting more selfish and some are getting more selfless. And the ones who are becoming more selfless, meaning stripping away the ego, understanding the connectedness of all, you're really helping the planet at this time. Those going more into their ego, more into that one for themselves, looking out for themselves, they're going to be in for some like rude awakenings, I feel. There's big lessons and storms coming for them, because if they won't shift, it's almost like the universe is going to get them to shift, and that's going to be caused through some havoc. So this could even be aspects of yourself that don't want to shift. They're saying like those aspects will be shooken up. I feel like everyone's going to be forced to shift in some way. Something's going to break, something's going to give. But those of you who are already mastering this, you are the torch. You are the torch bearers for the collective. You are carrying the torch. You're lighting the way. And for those of you where you're on like an equal team, where both of like the twin flames are doing their work and holding the torch maybe at different times, you're lighting the way for each other and you're strengthening the connection. So for some twins, I see both holding a torch now, which is very interesting, because I always allude to the symbolism of like, oh, the feminine's carrying the torch. Oh, the masculine's taking the torch. I actually see both holding the torch now, which I've not seen that symbolism or imagery as of yet. So it's definitely telling me like there is this 11 energy coming together. Okay? There's like an 11, there's a 1-1, there's a uniting of this energy, each holding the torch. This sort of like goalpost And then the connectedness reigning over that connection. That connection's being fortified by you dissolving the fear within. The reason why both are able, some twins, some, not all, are able to carry the torch, that you're both now emerging as light workers, as torch bearers, because you've both done a lot of work. Not all, some, there's still an imbalance where one's still working out the balance of masculine, feminine from within, still trying to dissolve the fear. And the torch will keep getting passed. But for some of you, there's 2 torches I see. That's why I just see 2 people stepping forth with torches. And then like, it's almost like creating one light. And when you're carrying them individually, let's say like there's no contact, you know, you're doing the work, you don't know if the other person's doing the work. When you're carrying it individually, separate, it feeds this connection right here. But this is like the connection that's unseen. This is where we get the telepathy, the signs, the symbolism. When you, now I'm seeing 2 people step together, both holding the torch. It's like they're putting their torches together and now they're seeing this. They're seeing this actually become a tangible force, this connection. It's very interesting. I hope I'm saying it the right way. They're showing it to me so clearly in my mind. I don't even know really how to articulate it. It feels like 2 of Cups energy. If you guys look at the 2 of Cups, it feels like that. But it's where the 2 people are holding the cups, and I feel like they're holding torches. So cups become the torches. And and if you just imagined, you know, the masculine here and the feminine here, or vice versa, this is like the 8 energy, or the infinity energy, this continuous. Does that make sense? And then it's showing me one big sort of flame. This is the eternal flame. Here, it's creating a big light. And it's lighting up the universe. It's lighting up this connection. It's lighting up the universe. It's creating a much bigger flame. It's creating a much bigger light. So let's go into the cards and see how these messages are reinforced. So we saw the mighty oak, the acorn, this message around stability, strength, flexibility, going to the root, clearing, shifting the root issues, understanding the root issues. We saw the 8 symbolism, 8 divided by 1, both torch bearers coming forth, creating the continuity of connection, the 8 being the symbol of the connection with all this, the lovers coming together, both holding the torch, fortifying the connection, spreading a bigger light. Yeah. And almost this expansiveness of this light, of this 2 torches coming together, this bigger light. It feels like the expansiveness of the oak to me. Like that one bigger flame that we're forming feels like the mighty branches and leaves of the oak, protecting us, expanding through the forest, connecting all. Let's see what the Ascended Masters have to say in the cards. They're saying meditate, and so you can see the leaves around here. This could be a call for you to, Buddha's calling you to meditate in nature, I feel. This is also about centering and expanding your light through that meditation, okay? this is about getting rooted in yourself. Okay? Listen to your intuition. This is saying that you can cut through anything that doesn't feel clear or authentic to you at this time. Is talking about authenticity. So things that don't feel authentic, things that don't feel genuine in your life, it's time to just kind of clear it out. You need to listen to yourself and not second guess and not doubt. I feel this almost feels like her clearing out the cobwebs, and that's been the symbolism in the past few readings. Excuse me. I feel like there's a need to clear out that, not just that which no longer serves, but maybe the things that just are not authentic for where we're heading. People, situations, aspects of our lives that don't work because they're not. This is about authenticity, listening to what's authentic for you. They're showing me even like these antiques. A lot of people they find antiques and they bring the antiques to an antique dealer or an appraiser and they say, is this authentic? Is this a real, this is marked with this seal from this artist or from this century. Is this authentic, or is this a replicate? And then the appraiser will say, oh no, this is authentic, or this is worth a lot of money. Or they'll say, you know what? Sorry, this is a reproduction. This is not inauthentic like you thought. And this is what we're listening. I have goosebumps about this. This is what we're listening to right now. This is about you being the appraiser, you being the assessor of this, and figuring out and seeing really what's authentic, what's not. There's been a pattern in my sessions the past week with clients I've worked with. And this full moon that we're in right now that just is happening or just happened over the past day or two, it has created like an illumination for some people that is almost very similar to eclipse energy, which I found very interesting because I was not channeling this, but I was definitely seeing it through my clients, where certain truths were really coming to light. But I really think it has to do with this. It's like there's an illumination, you seeing what's authentic, what's not. And really that discernment's enabling you to move forward right now and actually let go of some of the things that just are not. Maybe they're replicates, they're fakes, they're phonies, they're not who they said they were, they're not what you thought they were.Maybe you were perceiving through what you wanted to see or through what you hoped to get through your wound. But as you heal, as you come into wholeness, you're going to perceive through trust and love, and you're going to be able to see what's real from what's not real or what's fake. Oops, I'm getting a low battery, sorry. So you're going to see what's real and what's not. You're going to be able to see through that quite clearly, okay? Right. So when Thoth comes, it's just a reminder to write, journal your feelings. Some of you, like myself, you're writers, you're writing your experiences, writing your books, writing your, maybe you need to write to see the clarity on paper, to really listen to yourself, to know what's your voice versus what's maybe your the little devil standing over your shoulder, kind of, or your egoic voice versus like your authentic voice. what are the fear, like when is fear and doubt talking within you and leading you, and when is like trust and love. And maybe if you start writing some of this down, you'll be able to discern, like, oh no, this is like actually my fears talking, this is actually my intuition. So writing is going to help you discern that. Meditating is going to help you discern that and center. And the bottom of this deck is Jesus, open your heart to love. And again, I feel like that's the oneness, that's the connectedness. This is that infinity symbol, 8 energy. So 8s could be coming up as connected to Jesus now. Like you might see 1 and 7, or 8s. It's the Christ consciousness energy. It's connectedness of all. I feel like there's huge movements right now of people connecting with helping animals. I feel like more people are choosing not to kill insects. Just there's that consciousness. I feel like there's going to be a huge wave of animals helping people, like literally, like animals rescuing people and people rescuing animals, like a true like partnership. Go to the animals. You know, I went apple picking a few weeks ago. Some of you who are on my social media might have seen my pics, right? So they had like this little, it wasn't even a petting zoo. It was just like this little area with some animals. You weren't even supposed to pet the animals, but I couldn't help myself. I was like so enthralled with these alpaca and sheep and goats. They were awesome. So I'm over there like connecting with them, talking to them. They're coming up to me. It was beautiful. I mean, I enjoyed it so much, and I want to go back and see them again, right? So I went back to my car, and you could see the animals where they're in like this fenced area. And all these people are coming in and out of the farm. And I sat there and I watched for about 25 minutes. And all these people are coming in and out, you know, on the hay rides, going to apple pick, walking on the grounds, kids, older people, all ages, all walks of life. And not one person in 25 minutes went over to the animals. Nobody, not even the children, no one. They looked, I saw some people look, and they didn't go over. And it just boggled my mind. Not that I was judging them, but just like what's happening to our society where we don't feel that connection, where we don't feel pulled, or we don't allow ourselves to go and connect with animals. So this is just a reminder. I know a lot of you are tapped into this, and you know, so many people do connect with animals and all of that, but there's a good piece of society that needs to wake up to that and reconnect. So all right, we're going to go over to the Ascended Masters, the Archangels deck. Peace. So this is the dove. Archangel Chamuel, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So this is about making the shift from fear to love. This is also about, you know, look at the angel holding the dove, releasing the dove. This is about connecting, whether it's animal, people. It's about oneness. It's about shifting from fear to love. It's about peace from within. And that peace from within, as you feel the peace from within, as you create that stability, as you feel that centeredness, you create that oak tree, that strong, stable oak tree. You understand the roots and you can shift from fear to love. Then you can perpetuate that outwardly in society and to all around you. Whoa. All right. So, comfort. Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So, some of you might be discerning things that are hard for you, like truths around people in your life or people who have hurt you. This is around healing that. It's around healing the root, healing the fears. Archangel Azrael, you can call upon, and this angel is going to help you heal your heart. There's a lot of healing going on. This is the need for self-nurturing and self-caring. And then with this popped out claircognizance. Claircognizance is a clear knowing. Pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. This is not, you might feel like, oh, that just came out of nowhere. How do I know that? That's claircognizance. Claircognizance is, you know, the ideas and the thoughts that just come right through you. This is Archangel Uriel. And you might just know what's right for you. You might just go, yeah, I know. It might come through writing, right? Just coming right through your hand. Pay attention to what comes to you at this time. What just like the knowing is. Listen to it. The bottom of the deck is Divine Order, Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. This can be really, really hard when you're going through a tough time, when you're asking why, like that question, like, why is this happening? Why do I keep repeating these patterns? Why? And they're saying everything is in perfect order, everything. When I was doing my regression, the practitioner asked about the timing of my cancer, and my subconscious answered, oh, it's perfect. You should hear me on the recording. It's like, my subconscious is going, oh, it's perfect. Perfect time. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this was just when this needed to happen. And it was like, I'm listening to this back going, oh my gosh, like the confidence that came through in that was just, it was just so reassuring. Like to be like, oh my gosh, absolutely. This was perfect timing for your cancer. Normally we don't think of cancer like, oh yes, good job. This was just perfect. Oh, perfect timing. You're navigating this perfectly. But that's what I was being shown. And I think in all the situations, if something comes up, surprises us, a piece of information, something that we're learning or seeing about someone, a heartache, something we're resolving within ourselves, remember, it's all playing into the whole. It's all helping you find balance, and it's all meant to be. It's all in divine order. This is about releasing the resistance. This is why the tree came in the first place. It was to say, we're being too resistant to some things that are happening. There needs to be this flexibility. If you stay in a resistant energy, you're not going to find balance. You're going to break. There's going to be things that break. So it's about creating stability, creating peace, hearing the clarity, you know, shifting from fear to love, but also being flexible, letting things give, take, allowing things to flow out of our lives, allowing what's meant for us to walk in and to flow in. I'm going to pull from the Diana Cooper Ascension deck. So I like to just, these messages are usually pretty chock full, so I like to just pull one card and then we'll check the bottom of the deck. So we'll just pull one card from this deck. And four just popped out. So again, we have Thoth, so I really don't need to reiterate that because he's coming up twice here. This is talking about that he was the high priest of the golden era in Atlantis, led his tribe to South America to become the Inca civilization. This is about bringing all aspects of your life into alignment. Every cell of your body is an orchestra. Let your thoughts conduct a magnificent concert for radiating well-being. Attune each area of your life to a higher purpose. My life and my health are in perfect harmony. So it's about your health as well. Balancing. I love that. All right, well, we'll just put that back like that. All right, so I loved it. I said I'm only going to pull one card and four pop out. Buddha. Are you kidding me? So Buddha's here again. When you draw this card, Lord Gautama, who became the Buddha, is calling you to live in a state of peace. So peace. So Buddha, peace, meditate, okay? This creates safety for you, for all creatures will love you and feel safe with you. This is about living in harmlessness, right? This is about creating harmlessness for all creatures. So that energy. So all messages in one. See, everything is one. Everything is connected. There we go. Buddha, peace, all is one, harmlessness. Okay, and I swear, you guys, you can't make this up. I'm going to move this. Oops, sorry. I'm going to move this out a little bit, refocus a little bit here so you guys can see. Oops. Sorry, you guys. I just want you to be able to see everything that's kind of coming out. There. All right, so I'm going to move this up. So, again, meditate, peace, Buddha, Buddha. We have Thoth, Thoth. Come on now. So what also came up is the cosmic heart and the sun in reverse, okay? And these are 9, 10 cards. This is 31 and 33. So the cosmic heart, this card invites you to open your heart fully. So again, open your heart to love. So again, it's reinforcing that message. Pure unconditional love is held within Venus at the 9th dimensional frequency, a higher frequency than we can currently access. The angels are suggesting you find time today to call on Mother Mary or the unicorns. With their help, you can step down this powerful but gentle love to a level you can handle and bring it into your heart center. So this is about raising the frequency. It's about pulling it into our hearts, expanding from our heart chakras. I am the cosmic heart. Open your heart to love, Jesus energy, Christ consciousness, unconditional love, working with Mother Mary, who I work with. So that ties in. And then the sun in reverse is, the sun is the navel chakra of the universe. So it's radiates divine masculine principles unto us. Choosing this card suggests that the universe is calling on you to develop your qualities of decisive action, protecting the vulnerable, rational thinking, courage, and strength. Invoking the sun in order to light up your aura, and fill you up with renewed enthusiasm for life. The guidance is to fill your aura with brilliant golden light, to be your true self or true to yourself, and act decisively today. And I feel like this is very connected to this listen card, like where you're weeding out what's right for you, what's not. It's being in your power center. It's the ability for you to choose, for you to, choose what's right for you. It's about connecting to your passions, the fire in your belly. And we need to remember to do this. We need to remember that when we clear out the fear, we can reconnect into our power center, take action from a more trusting place, from a place of peace and knowing. So I thought that's really, really cool, the way that all popped out. And the bottom of the deck is the 12 chakras, the 12 chakra system. So it's about activating our 12 fifth dimensional chakras. This begins to reconnect the 12 strands of DNA so that we reclaim our true spiritual and psychic gifts. So this is about vibrating at a fifth dimensional frequency and waking up to that level of knowing, trusting. It's about integrating the 5D into the 3D. When we go into 4D, that's like our dream state. 5D is like actually bringing it from, like, I feel like we're integrating the 5D into the 3D, and the 5D is becoming our new reality, and that's what we're being asked to do through our chakras, through our, it says your guidance is to ask unicorns to touch, open, and activate your Earth Star, base, sacral, navel, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, causal, soul star, and stellar gateway chakras. So it's about balancing and opening those chakras. And you can only become a vessel for this when you are back at 1, when you're back at purity. And this is like the 8-to-1 ratio, right? And like you're everything and you're 1. You're I feel like starting anew from a place of love rather than fear. Does that make sense? And the last deck I want to pull from is actually the past life deck. And the reason why is because I was just getting such clear messages that our past lives are connected to what we're clearing ancestrally, and also in our, a card just popped out, so it's on the floor. I'm going to grab it. I love this. So trees, and we're going to talk about this. Look, obviously, this was the whole message to begin with. So the trees are coming out. This is about the message that the trees have for us. This is about the wisdom that the trees carry. Like, as we incarnate in and out through lifetimes, the trees have been with us. The trees carry the wisdom and the knowledge, but it's also about us carrying that wisdom, becoming that knowledge, becoming that stability, learning through the lifetimes, learning the lessons, mastering the lessons, so that we can become the bearer of wisdom, the stability, the strength, the light givers, the seed planters, the seed givers. It's huge. I want to get this card that fell out on the floor, so just give me a second. So it's the orphan card, which is like the inner child. So remember, you're not alone. There's healing in the trees. There's healing in nature. There's a connectedness to all. This is really about, it's not just healing the abandonment wound or any sort of abandonment from this lifetime or other lifetimes. It's really about understanding that you're never alone. Like, you're connected to all, nature, animals. And it's just like I was telling you at that petting zoo or that farm, like, you know, sure, people are walking with their husbands, wives, family, kids. You know, I was there alone. I was there by myself. And I was the only one that thought to go over to the animals. And I didn't feel alone at all. I felt like I was there with my family, you know, when I connected with the animals. So this is saying lean on nature. This is saying if you feel alone, isolated, or you're healing these wounds, that nature can heal you. Animals, plants, trees. There's a lot of profound healing right now from nature and from animals. And we'll pull one more card. Wars and battle popped out. So we look at this as a past life card. I feel like this is karma that's getting cleared with people that maybe you've been in combat with, or who feel against you or up against you in this life. You feel like maybe I can't win. And this is for someone specific who's watching this. There's almost a feeling of I can't win. I'm not gonna win with this person. They're saying don't try to. Focus on you and moving forward. It's not about the victory of winning over someone. It's not about seeking revenge. It's not about understanding the combat. It's about walking away in peace towards yourself. And that's for maybe a few of you or someone specifically watching this. There's something combative or something you're being faced with. There's something you're trying to win. You're trying to get victory over someone, or maybe there's this need for like vengeance, or like you're not at peace with someone in your life. This is because of karma. And they're saying you're the bigger person by walking away and going towards yourself, letting the scales balance that way, letting the old karma just resolve by coming all the way into yourself. It's not about evening a score. You might feel like you want to even a score because it's not just this lifetime stuff, it's other lifetime stuff. but there's nothing to really balance except for coming into yourself completely. They're saying the way you resolve this karma is coming all the way into yourself, moving towards yourself, just walking away in peace. Bottom of this deck is your love life. And I like that. I think that a lot of you, through healing these wounds and finding the peace within, you're making room for love, not just connection with animals and all people, but just, true romantic partnership. A lot of that's being healed right now. The blocks in your love life, the reason why you haven't settled down or found the one person or been able to clear the space for you and your twin flame or divine partner, and that's being healed at this time. And I feel a lot of that healing after October 12th. There's a huge shift after October 12th in the collective, where a lot of these love type relationships are going to be able to come together in a very real way in the 3D. So I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will see you very soon. Okay, take care. Mwah. Bye.